Do you think that, for example, that therapy in its whole is the end goal? Most times, especially in, like, to just be blunt, in colored homes, you know, you're gonna find where if I see a therapist, then I'm crazy.
Yeah.
If I see a therapist, there's something wrong with me. My family is gonna look down on me. You know, you're gonna find all of that. So I don't necessarily want anyone else to know I'm seeing someone because I might just get looked at like I'm crazy in general.
Yeah. I think what you're touching on there is super accurate. I think there's still a lot of stigma around seeking help. But I like what you said there about framing therapy not as the goal.
Yeah.
Like your goal is actually health, or your goal is I really want to be able to relate well to my spouse, or I want to be a good father, or I really want to be successful in leading at work. The goal is bigger than therapy. And I think trying to frame therapy as a tool, something that can be really useful in helping you reach your goals, helps kind of break the stigma a little bit. I do think that the times we're living in, especially off the back of COVID and a lot of trauma that people have gone through, hopefully that stigma is starting to shift. It takes a lot of courage to seek out help, and especially if there is a lot of stigma in your community. But I also agree with what you're saying, that you can keep it private. There's part of our lives that not everybody has to know about, and if your space is one in which you're going to get a lot of backlash for seeking out help, that's really not going to be helpful in you reaching your goals, then keeping it private is also a really great option.
For example, I'm working in a really high stressful job, and my boss knows that, you know, I can't handle certain situations, and all of a sudden he's just taking advantage of me. Are there certain elements in my life where I almost look at it and think, is therapy really worth it, because they're always just going to be that way with me? Almost like, how do I show that I have developed, or what are the signs that I can see that maybe I have developed in my therapy?
I'm hearing quite a few questions in that question there. The thing that I'm going to pick out is the first one. I think it's also circling back to when is a good time to seek therapy, and we're touching now on the vulnerability of it. And a good friend of mine who's also a therapist, she says when the pain outweighs the shame, people seek help. If the goal of functioning properly at work and being able to handle stress was big enough for you, then I think you would be able to almost take the courage to go and seek out help, because the goal, we live in pursuit of what we value, and so if the goal is a valued means and the goal is to be functioning at work, then I do think that would act as a driver.